getting this messy. We want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream can happen.
All right, everybody. You are it. Renee, you're it.
I'm it. We're ready. We're in it to win it.
We
right
are
now.
Trismegistus because we have human sovereignty and we're all godlike because we have this ability to have an experience. It's crazy. We're part of a galaxy.
Yep.
And we are lucky enough to have an experience that can tell the galaxy we're in a galaxy. Isn't that crazy?
And we have the galaxy of the mind, which is a galaxy within a galaxy, right?
And we can also see ourselves with other galaxies.
Wow.
So we are the galaxy. We are the galactic mind. So we remind today that this is the turnover in the calendar. For some reason, I don't know how we skipped from 17, 18, 19 to 20, but we dropped days in the Mayan calendar in order to catch up. So today is 13, 11, 21.
Wow.
Guess was 11, like 19. I don't even know how we did that, but these are the kinds of things, because we have to play catch up. We have to play wiggle room. Like nothing is for certain. Everything is changing. Everything is happening all the time. Everybody's in this whole thing together, and we are on a ride. It's like, this is a roller coaster ride through the galaxy right now.
Yep, absolutely. And as we get closer to the election, which is, I don't even know how many days away it is. It's ridiculously close.
Like 2 weeks away. It's
2 weeks away. And then we have this crazy thing. Look at this race. And how are people feeling about the fact that this is a close to call race? Can you believe that? Do you believe the polls?
See, this is the thing now. This gets into really weird, because remember, assumption and gossip are the two things that we try to avoid at all costs.
Right.
So do we have to assume what other people are thinking?
Well, I don't know. I think everyone's surprised.
Let's not do that. Let's just go ahead with what we know to be true, which is what we're thinking.
Okay. What are we thinking?
Well, it's pretty obvious that you can have a maniac. I mean, I've already voted for blue. I voted all blue. I voted Kamala, and I mailed my ballot in yesterday. And
oh, wow.
Copied me, and we are both two in on it. Okay, we're going all blue. I mean, we need a blue tsunami to clean out, the purge, this MAGA insidious sickness that we have, and we have to go back to law and order. This is just all to get back to where we started 50 years ago with Roe v. Wade. This is where we have to go back to. And a lot of these other like weird little laws that are happening in schools, and what this MAGA group has been up to is just a little bit hard to comprehend unless you are one of us. And then you know for sure that we've been, messed around with. Now, there's only one choice for president. Isn't that weird? How do we do that? Now, and it was very slick too. If you think about it, how very, very tactful. Now, what we saw was a whole new way of transfer of power, peaceful transfer of power through Joe Biden to Kamala Harris. And a remaking of Kamala Harris in the last few weeks that has put her back in Mamala category. Now, mother, any people that turn on their mother in a great confusion. Now, who do we hear that from?
Well, that was from John Trudell when he talked about the Earth Mother, Gaia Mother Earth, and there's something totally disordered about anyone who would turn on their mother.
Do you have that clip by any chance somewhere handy?
I can get it. We can listen to it in a little bit. Yeah.
John Trudell is the voice that I heard back in, I can't remember when I heard him exactly. I'm pretty sure it was through KPFK and the archives. Now, it might be as part of the archives, his speech. It's a Thanksgiving speech, evidently. And I just took it. I had to steal it. I stole it from, I think, the radio, or I'm not quite sure. Maybe I just stole it from the. Now I didn't steal it because it was public domain, and I'm pretty sure that I got it through one of the campaign and fund drives through KPFK, because free speech radio is not free. You got to pay for it. If you want good information, you pay a little bit of money, and then you get access to some amazing free information. So if you're listening to me, you should be listening to KPFK. And if you really want to check in with what's really happening, check my work, which is to go to, democracynow.org, and to, do your own damn homework. But this is where I came from. And so these are all our own opinions, right, Renee?
Yeah, these are our own. And now I have John Trudell Speaks. This is I have the 6 minutes of it. I'm not sure, I can't pinpoint where he talks about Mother Earth, but we can listen to the 6 minutes.
But the whole 6 minutes, sure. Let's go ahead and we'll just stop it when let me tell you, if I tell you to stop it. Let's go ahead and see what he says.
Okay, let's see what he
I think we start. Well, you can see the whole movie of this on my website at Play WholEarth Game.
We're faced with a very serious situation in this generation. There are insane people who wish to rule the world. They wish to continue to rule the world on violence and repression. And we are all the victims of that violence and repression. We, as the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, have been resisting this violence and this oppression for 500 years. We know that the black people have been resisting it for at least that long. And we know that the white people have had to endure it thousands of years. And now it's come full swing to this generation that we live in. Nuclearization of the world. See, this cannot be, we cannot allow this to continue to go on. We cannot do it. See, we cannot expect that the pro-nuclear oppressor, that other side, we cannot expect that they're going to change for us. They are going to become more brutal.
So what we're talking about,
they're going to become more repressive, because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power
being played on us.
We have to reestablish our identity.
Otherwise,
we have to understand who we are and where we
that's
fit
the only
in the
antidote, according to
because our oppressor deals in illusion.
Go ahead and stop. So what we did, we again back at Democracy Now! And Naomi Klein, Shock Doctrine, is a book that describes the antidote to being in that is to understand who is messing with you, how they're messing with you, and then that's the only thing you have, So we have to understand that we're being put into an area of making this choice. But it's the weirdest thing happening. Like, what else happened this week that in my own life, I had a hurricane decimate our property in Florida. And it didn't really hurt it so much physically as it created problems that we have to solve. Otherwise, it's going to create more problems that we'll have to solve later, health-wise, if we can get that far. I don't think there's that much time, to be honest with you. I think we're going to go pretty fast. So we don't have time to sit around and diddle-daddle, We're going to go and we're going to remove the house that's there and try to save as much as we can of the wood and exterior, particularly. It's screwed on. I can unscrew it. I have to go literally and unscrew it. So we'll be down in Florida next month and showing the progress on the house, getting these boards off, because I want to use the boards for the flooring when we put the flooring into the new container house that we're going to replace it with. So that's going to be interesting too, to see what happens in the building department and how we're going to get through that whole thing. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise,
did you want to show I have some of these that are still in there. This is from right after.
Well, this is what's happening. Everybody is out, and then there's another layer of that because the water went to there, and everybody has to bring their drywall outside because it'll create this black mold, and everybody's freaking out about black mold. So we had to move out of our house and then cut the drywall up to a couple of feet to above the plugs, which we had to do anyway, because We were going to have to rewire the house. I mean, it's just so much work, and you can't, I went in there with the idea that we could save and salvage and slow things down and like take a minute. Now that's one way to go for sure. But my daughter's like, we got to pull teeth. And so we just pull teeth. We just go slash and burn. I just, and that was all kind of silly too, because we have to just take it all apart. Can't save anything really. It's just not going to be something we want to live in a hurricane area like this. If we can get the building demolished and totaled, then we can get some insurance money to pay for the new house, which is going to be a container house, so that it can be weather resistant. So anyway, things are crushing down. We got 2 weeks before the election, and now after that, if and when, and there's no if. You see, I put this thing in there. When Kamala gets elected, it's going to be happy days are here again. We're going to move forward to this area that we thought about. Like, this is what we dream of. Is it possible to actually dream the future that we want to have? We're going to find out. I've always been disappointed, to be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to not being disappointed this time, but I'm ready to go, I guess, because, if by some miracle or some hoax or some fakery or some chicanery or some kind of situation, because right before the election, the October surprise needs to be a law about insurrectionists. And if you want to show up to the Capitol with any kind of firearm or harm or intent, you're going to jail. No question. Don't come to the Capitol. No, don't even come. Now there will. So that's what's going to happen. You see, there's going to create some type of situation. The only way we can avoid the situation is not to go into the situation. This is the main thing. We want to step away from the impulse. Stay away from the impulse. If you're feeling impulsive about anything, take a deep breath. Go through, the Emerald Tablets. Remember the 7 principles? Everybody's in this together. Everything's vibrating. Everything's happening all at the same time. There's a rhythm. Everything has a rhythm. 2 sides to every story. There's only a half truth. Every truth is a half truth. Yep, here we go. Every truth is a half truth. Now what else? Oh, cause and effect. Everything you put out, you get back. What about gender? Can you get your mind out of the idea that gender is not sex? But can you get your mind out of the idea that gender is not sex? I don't think it's possible. I think it's programmed that we are sexual. We cannot not think about sex. We're programmed as part of the thing. So to resist the idea of sex is to be going against the way. It goes against the Tao. So good luck with that. So to accept the way of sex. Now, sex in terms of gender, we are both. So we are human beings having a galactic beings having a human experience on Earth, which includes a body that wants to have, contact with other bodies as part of the thing. And our goal is to resist that, whatever. It's kind of ridiculous. So if you're one of those who cannot resist, you've got to vote for Kamala Harris if you want to have, the freedom and the pride of being who you are. The freedom to be and the pride of being who you are. That's what we're trying to get at. think that's the goal, to be able to live and travel without harm, to be homeful and hungerless today, to find ways to live and travel without harm, to use less, waste none. Here's one for you. Tell them you love them every single day. Tell those people you love them every day. All right. Well, that's it for this week. We are on some crazy stuff happening. Everything's happening at us in the same week. So you got to be ready just in case. Everything you need just in case. Keep coming back. Let's play WholEarth game.
You're one of the very, very few people getting this message.